Better than 19,000 on hand here at Staples. Let's check out the starting lineups for the Kings. Hedo Turkoglu, who turned it around on Friday night up front with Chris Webber, who had a sensational all-around game, as did Vlade Divac, Doug Christie, Mike Bibby in the backcourt. Rick Fox hoping to bounce back from a 1 for 9 from the field up front with Robert Horry, Shaquille O'Neal, and in the backcourt, Kobe Bryant and Derek Fisher. Let's check in with Jim Gregg. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Marv. I had an opportunity to speak to Kobe Bryant before the game. He told me that he hopes that he'll have his legs and his rhythm throughout the entire game. He did admit, however, that he did lose quite a bit of weight throughout the process of this food poisoning. He said, however, this represents to me nothing more than a lot of fun. This is what I live for. It's nothing to be nervous about. This is an opportunity to go out and show that we can raise our level and meet the challenge. Now, as for Shaquille O'Neal, I spoke to him, and he told me that he wants the ball early and often. He said, in the last game, I was being too nice. He said, tonight, no more big easy. Tonight, big nasty. Mark?
All right, Jim. Well, Shaq came out in very tentative fashion on Friday night, picked it up in the second quarter, but he was in foul trouble. Phil Jackson said at the start, Shaq did not want the ball until he had a feel for the rhythm in light of the tight officiating. But we look for a different philosophy here this afternoon. Dan Crawford, Ron Garrison, Ken Maurer are the officials, and the Lakers control the opening tip, and this crowd is in it right from the start. Robert Horry being played by Chris Webber. Kobe Bryant, who had the slow start on Friday night, and O'Neal goes right to it and comes up short, but the ball lands back in the hands of O'Neal. Shaq obviously looking, going right at the start.
Initiating contact, taking it right at him. The Kings have to do a better job of getting those quick rebounds when Shaq misses the initial one.
Here is history, and the game is tied at 2.
Marv, we have never seen a Laker crowd as nervous and as anxious as this, and I think that they think they need to be here for their team, and the Kings respond. This is going to be a very good game.
And Derek Fisher has to get the shot going, or he will take a seat because he's had difficulty handling Bibby, and Chris Webber has given the Kings a 4-2 lead. In fact, the Lakers had trouble with penetrating backcourt men. We saw that in the San Antonio series with Tony Parker, and they have not been able to deal to this point with Bibby and Jackson. The bad pass picked off by Bibby. Christie with the room. Changed his mind, Turkoglu for 3, and the Kings have come out on fire. Hedo Turkoglu, remember, had that 0 for 8 in Game 1, missed his first 3 shots in Game 2, but has picked it up. The Kings have a 7-2 advantage.
Well, you hear that crowd, and they're really trying to get the Lakers to respond to get in the game, and with the exception of the one made by Shaq, they are struggling offensively.
All right, Fisher, yes, put on the line. It's a 2-pointer.
Phil Jackson said the keys for Los Angeles will be rhythm and court spacing, penetration, get to the free throw line, focus defensively on Mike Bibby, and then play as a team.
Well, Bibby able to beat Fisher off the dribble, but threw it back out. Horry with the rebound.
Fisher might want to think about dumping it into Shaq to always get those 3-point shots whenever they want.
Rick Fox for 3. And Turkoglu on the rebound.
Well, Phil Jackson has said that they're going to give Mike Bibby some special attention, and they better start right from the get-go because he is beating Derek Fisher off the dribble, and that's why those shots are wide open.
And again, Bibby gets the step. And again, Bibby is able to hit. So the Kings lead 9-4.
The Fishers of the world have been responsible for putting 2 championship rings on Shaquille and Kobe's fingers. Right now, he's got to tighten things up defensively. Unacceptable.
Robert Horry. Here's Kobe Bryant eluding Doug Christie. Went to the crossover and was fouled. Foul committed by Webber. That's the first foul of the night.
Carelessness. Mike Bibby along the baseline. Good ball movement, which has become a trademark of this Sacramento team. You got to force the guy all the way to the basket. As a defender, you only have to guard the perimeter. You can't give up that mid-range shot. Bibby will make that every time.
Here's O'Neal. So that's the second bucket for Shaq. And the Kings have a 9-6 lead. Bibby using the pick from Divac and hits. Mike Bibby on Friday night played 46 minutes, 8 of 14, 2 from downtown, 24 points and 5 assists. And this has been going on throughout the postseason, starting with the series against Utah. Robert Horry from Shaquille O'Neal.
Great things happen when you come inside early in the shot clock, allowing Shaq to become a passer. But everybody has to keep moving. Shaq will give it up.
Nice pass, Divac to Weber, and the Kings have come out and hit 6 of their first 7 shots.
Remember, in the second and fourth quarters, that's when the Laker defense was able to have some impact. They're not even able to stop the ball, and that is what's killing them at the offensive end. Good ball movement, good player movement.
O'Neal draws the foul. Shaq so much more active here at the start. Divac picks up his first.
What the Sacramento Kings have done is exploit the fact that the Lakers can't respond to where the ball is. They're moving the ball. They're a great passing team. The result is Shaq is going to have to put a lot on his big back and see if he can't keep him in the game.
The Lakers should look at putting Kobe Bryant on Mike Bibby. Kobe Bryant, a fabulous individual defensive player. Phil Jackson has always loved to go with size over tough and dominating point guards who don't have that height, the way he did in the Utah series when John Stockton was taken out by Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Ron Harper.
Well, Bibby's not going to be taken out because he's a very aggressive and very clever player, and now you put Kobe Bryant in harm's way if you do that.
Not only that, Kobe doesn't have his legs. Got to show that he's back in tip-top shape as Divac shows once again the nice jump hook move against O'Neal, and the Kings now lead 15-9.
All of the Kings have scored, and that's been their secret. When everybody's scoring, they're rough to beat.
Turkoglu off the steal. O'Neal not able to handle that one-hop pass from Fisher. Turkoglu. Weber with the rebound. Weber on the move is able to score, and the Kings now lead 17-9. They have hit 8 of their first 10.
Fabulous game by Chris Weber. Getting it done, just throwing guys out of the way on the offensive glass from the weak side. And strong finishing.
Here is Bryant, and that shot is still off. He came up short on the first attempt, but a loose ball foul called on Weber, so that's a quick 2 on Chris Weber.
And that is a costly foul for Weber over the back. And we take a look at the way that the Kings have been able to move. See, no defensive pressure on the ball. Just go where you want. Vlade Divac has got a nice little 5-foot hook, and he drops it down. And you're always saying, Weber, stay inside.
And he does this on the offensive glass. Unfortunately, his lack of discipline on the other end of the court caused him to pick up 2 costly early fouls. Has been there for Chris Weber, who stays in the game with 2 fouls. But when you look at the Kings' 2 best games in this playoff run this year, number 1 against Dallas, number 3 against the Lakers, and Chris Weber was dominant inside in both of those games.
And hit that huge shot of the fourth quarter on Friday night with the Lakers in the midst of that 14-0 run, trying to get back into it. The block by Weber, and then a foul on Fox, who tried to get it back.
Well, they are taking a huge gamble, and maybe the reason for it is Robert Horry is not a great one-on-one player, but Weber extends to get a piece of that shot, and in trying to get it back, Fox comes over the top.
See, Chris's fouls come on careless gambling on plays that he really has no need or chance of success of it.
Beautiful pass by Weber, and Divac is fouled. But it is a gamble on the part of Rick Adelman to stay with Weber this early in the game.
You don't win championships without gambling, without being the attacker. And right now it's Vlade Divac going right back at Shaq. All the years, Marv, of teams trying to attack Shaq with boom ball, with the hack of Shaq, with the fouling. Finally, Vlade comes and shows how to be successful, if you can be, against the big guy Shaq.
And O'Neal picks up the foul. His first. The Kings now lead 18-9. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
Marvin, speaking to Chris Webber yesterday, he said this is the third time that we have played the Lakers. We have now been there before. Our core has been together for 3.5 years, and he said the main thing that has happened is that the Lakers have now become human. They don't look at them anymore as some superheroes, just a bunch of other guys, and he said that's been the biggest difference so far in this series. Mark?
Well, they've come out. Fisher was able to knock down a second field goal, showing that Friday night, or trying to show that Friday night was not a fluke. Once again, draws the foul.
The Kings are moving the ball so well. The Laker defense is reacting, and they're chasing, and that's the reason that Divac is able to come across the middle and get these kinds of opportunities. Shaq's not going to be able to react. Robert Horry, none of those guys can react to the ball movement. They have got to stop the ball if they're going to get control of the Kings.
Press offense, a thing of beauty for Sacramento. Rick Fox double teaming Mike Bibby in the backcourt. Then everybody giving the ball up early and going and attacking the basket as Vlade Divac's numbers just continue to impress. The foul trouble, yes, have been a problem, but you're always going to be up against it playing against Shaq. You have to contribute on the offensive end, and Vlade has done a magnificent job of doing that.
And perhaps playing his best basketball of the season.
And for a guy who's not noted for playing well against Shaq and also not noted for his consistency, a big test for Vlade today.
Just under 6 remaining in the first, and the Lakers are down by 10. Robert Horry giving that shot way off from downtown.
And the difference right now is in the attack. The Lakers are a perimeter jump shooting team with the exception of dropping the ball into Shaq, and the Kings are ball movement, sliding to the hoop, getting high percentage shots.
Once again, Bibby able to beat Fisher off the dribble, and the Kings lead 23-11.
Didn't Phil Jackson say penetrate and get to the hoop? That's the basis of our game.
Foul is called on Bibby. Kind of a touch foul on Mike Bibby.
He's saying this is rough, but look at Bibby. Watch him look back and say, "What's my name?"
This guy's name is Mike Bibby. And they better start printing up some shirts there for this guy. This guy is playing fabulous basketball in all respects.
Fisher for 3. Rebounded by Divac, and here comes Christie. The Kings with a 3-point lead. Add to it. Turkoglu able to beat the Lakers down court.
Lakers aren't listening to Phil Jackson, and he wants a timeout. He's got to rectify this immediately. Why isn't Shaq touching the ball every time?
Sacramento has come out, hit 10 of 12 from the field. You listen to the crowd reaction. These are anxious moments here at Staples in Los Angeles. The Kings with a 2-1 lead in this best of 7, with game number 5 coming up in Sacramento on Tuesday night, and they have the Lakers 25-11 here in the first.
And championships by playing as a team, and at this particular period of time, I think we're feeling like we've got to have Shaquille and Kobe do a lot more for us than maybe we really have to have them do. Maybe the focal point of this King defense is Shaquille and Kobe, and the rest of the guys have to step up and get those 15 points and allow Shaquille and Kobe to get the points they're naturally going to get in a game of duress. Maybe they only get 20, 25 points. But other people have to step into the open areas and into the opportunities they have.
The role players definitely have to deliver. The start has been a nightmare once again here. Only 11 points, 5 for 13 shooting, mimicking the embarrassing moments of Game 3 here. Shaq and Kobe in Game 1. That was very, very difficult and tough to swallow for longtime Laker fans. Rick Fox not getting it done. He's going to sit it out for a while. Sacramento, they need to get greedy right here. They need to treat this, okay, we're ahead at the half, time to put the hammer down and think offense.
And Devin George has come on, replacing Rick Fox. Brian Shaw, who provided a lift in the fourth quarter the other night, is kicked in. He has 7. The Kings now lead 25-13.
12-point game, and Shaq, Kobe's job is to keep them close. At some point, that will take the pressure off of George and Robert Horry, Brian Shaw.
Evan George with a tough assignment against Hito Turtle, did a nice job defensively. Divac and George scrapping forward. George able to hustle it down and draws the foul.
Now, when the Kings get in trouble, it's when they try to become one-on-one players. And Hito Turkoglu trying to go one-on-one and didn't get by anybody. Tosses up a real tough shot. Now he's going to try to come in and come up with the steal, and they don't get control of the ball.
Foul on Turkoglu, so the Kings are over the foul limit.
In that situation, Turkoglu, you're stuck. You got great passing big men, Vlade and Weber. Have them flash to the ball, give it up and execute the give and go, and you'll get a layup every single time. Don't force up that ill-advised shot.
George played a playoff career high 27 minutes the other night, only 3 for 13, but had 7 rebounds, and Phil Jackson likes his work defensively. That's why he's put him on Turkoglu.
And one of the things about Turkoglu, this is a big opportunity for him. He's got friends all over the world watching him play, and he wants to step up. And the Kings get in a hot streak. He wants to stay part of that.
4.5 remaining in the first. Kings by 11. Weber playing with the 2 fouls, backing his way on Ori, and gets the friendly rim.
George might have tipped that in. It started to come off. George was up there. Might have been the nice guy for Chris Webber.
Lakers have to try to get more fouls on Vlade. Vlade is playing too well.
So Shaq is doing his part here at the start. He now has 9, and it's a 27-16 Sacramento lead.
Now you got your wish, Kobe Bryant, against Mike Bibby, and they end up with Shaquille O'Neal picking up a foul.
For Shaq, that's his second as he came out trying to help on Bibby.
Chris Webber, who does not have outstanding footwork on delivering that jump look, it's a very kind roll that time, but Lakers' defense of the pick and roll has left a lot to be desired in this series.
Divac went right at a very careful Shaquille O'Neal, who did not want to be called for a third foul.
Well, Vladdy's showing the left and right hook, and so, he is getting a lot of freedom at the offensive end.
Kobe Bryant did not get the kind roll. Turkoglu protecting against George.
Now, Devin George is very active and aggressive defensively. Attack him and burn him with that enthusiasm.
Mike Bibby continues his remarkable play. 4 for 4 from the field. He has 8 points.
I mean, people don't give him enough credit for being a great shooter, and he is a stick, and he is a very clever player.
Here's Bibby lobbing, but that got away. George on the intercept. Bryant, but the Kings get back. Nice pass by Bryant, but George not able to finish. And Ken Maurer blows the whistle, a foul on the Lakers. It's on George.
Vlade Divac is playing a very solid game again. Coming right at Shaq, attacking him, showing him the whole repertoire. Keep Shaq back on his heels.
Who is this guarding Mike Bibby? I think it's Kobe Bryant.
No,
and he's going to treat him just like he's treated everyone else. He backs up and drops a dime on him. When a player has the ability to stop, change direction, he's tough to handle when he's got a jump shot to go with.
Lakers over the foul limit. Vlade Divac 4 for 4, now 5 for 5 from the foul line. Chris Webber sitting down, and Bobby Jackson played very well over the first 3 games of the series. He's checked in. He's bothered by a sprained left ankle that was suffered in the third quarter the other night. Although he says it's a mild sprain. Jackson said he heard the joint pop when he went down in a collision, but the Kings say he's all right. Well, game 3, the Kings led 32-15. And look at this score right here, 33-16 Sacramento. George, good job getting the rebound, but way off on the follow. And this crowd getting a bit anxious.
Well, they should, because they're not making shots, and that's all it comes down to. You can't beat a team that's making shots and you're not. You talk about your defense and everything else, but the ball is not going in, and the Lakers dig a big hole.
If you're Sacramento, keep pushing on the offensive attack.
Divac tried to keep it alive, but knocked it out of bounds, so the ball back to the Lakers.
Turkoglu is playing the power forward for Sacramento right now. He's getting pushed underneath the basket on his defensive rebound. He has got to establish position and hold out guys like Ori and Devin George and Kobe Bryant. He's got a huge role because Vlade is so preoccupied with Shaq.
O'Neal going at Divac. George, this time, is able to convert.
When you're playing against a great player like Shaq, your power forward has to be huge on the defensive boards. Gobble everything up.
And remember, the Sacramento Kings have done the job as Jackson is tripped up by Ori. Lakers over the limit. Jackson will go to the line. Sacramento has had all the success without their all-star player, Peja Stojakovic, who continues to sit out with that sprained right ankle. Rick Adelman says Peja just cannot run. He was injured back in Game 3 in the series against Dallas.
Marv, he was here early today, Peja, and he's moving a lot better. He's got a little bit of lateral mobility. He's stepping back and then forward. The shot was down there, but still unrealistic to expect Peja to make the kind of move into this competition with the injury that he had.
But this is a team that has lost important players, and it has not affected the way they played. And the perfect example, Chris Webber, right at the start of the season.
He missed the first 20 games, and with a new point guard, they still ran away from the pack. That's why I voted for Rick Adelman for Coach of the Year this year in the NBA.
The first we heard of that vote.
Now he did, I must say, he mentioned it early in the season. I hate to vouch. Foul is called on Johnson. Kind of slipped it in as a late ad after he had mentioned two other coaches.
He mentioned Phil Jackson, Maurice Cheeks, and never got to the guy that had the best record.
Here's Scott Pollard for Vlade Divac. Another outstanding performance by Divac. 10 points. And he'll take a seat. So Devin George at the line with a minute 35 remaining in this first quarter. Well, you can log on to NBA.com to bid in the Where's Walton auction for exclusive memorabilia from the Love It Live tour, with proceeds to benefit reading is fundamental. It's all at NBA.com.
Marv, look up there and you see 35 points, and the Lakers are #1 in field goal percentage for their opponents, and they are getting manhandled.
Not Pollard on the move, and he is fouled. It's a blocking foul on Fox.
A trademark of every Phil Jackson championship team has been defend the pick and roll expertly. Send them away from the pick, send them to the baseline, pin them with size. Bibby is torching the Lakers in the pick and roll from up top, from the side, from everywhere. Pollard runs it right there. Samaki Walker, who hasn't been heard from since the media conference at the start of this series, gets out there way too late and no opportunity to slow down Bibby on that pick and roll.
Samaki played well against his former team, San Antonio, but very quiet in this series.
Well, especially after barking at the beginning, saying that the Kings have no chance here.
Lakers with 2 fouls apiece on Fox, Ori, and O'Neal. We come up on a minute remaining in the first. 15-point Sacramento lead.
Well, with Shaq out, you can look for Kobe to start trying to make plays for everybody else, but they're just not finishing. You get them a pass right at the rim. George misses a couple. Now Samaki Walker.
It's the Lakers who look psychologically unsettled while the Kings look so poised.
Here is Turkoglu with room. Yes!
Any shot they want. Any shot they want right now.
That's a three-pointer, and Turkoglu has 8.
And the Lakers can do nothing about it because they can't stop the ball at the point of attack.
Run if you're Sacramento. Never stop.
Jackson is blocked. That's right. Terrific play by Kobe in getting back. George.
That's just ill-advised.
Well, he shoot again, this time for 3.
And that's even worse. You got to have discipline when you're playing out here in these championship level games.
Lakers 8 for 25, 30% Another brutal shooting performance by the Lakers, while the Kings are 14 of 28. Final seconds of the first. Bibby. Yes! 2 seconds remaining of the quarter. Bibby 5 for 6. 10 points. Brian Shaw from center court. And you can hear the boos from this crowd. As bad as it was Friday night in Game 3 for the Lakers, this is worse.
Maybe, Marv, they should have Kobe Bryant. Check Mike Bibby.
Well, Bryant 0 for 4 here at the start. Sacramento with a 40-point first quarter after one. The Kings
at the top of that list right there, setting the tone of how you come against this great Laker team and try to dethrone them.
Lindsey Hunter, who did a nice job off the bench in that fourth quarter on Friday night, has come on. He's defending on Mike Bibby, so he'll take a shot at Bibby. Turkoglu able to work free from George. Here's Jackson with the shot clock running down. Bobby Jackson hits a 3, and the Kings continue the amazing shooting. They lead now 43 to 20.
And they said, you know, against Dallas, that's fine, but you can't do that against the Lakers. And the only guy that's making shots right now is number 34 for the Lakers.
And they only give it to him every fourth possession. I don't know what's going on there, but Turkoglu is playing terrific ball. We watch him every day in practice and the warm-ups. He has got a complete game on full display this afternoon.
Scott Pollard taking it inside on Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq is playing with 2 fouls. Chris Webber picked up 2 early, and he is sitting out right now. Pass deflected, recovered by George. Devin George with a host of opportunities. Devin George is now 1 for 7 from the field. Foul is called on Christie.
4 of them have come inside on offensive putbacks. He's been close and missed those opportunities. And, you know, he might be sensing a little bit of pressure, trying to be a little bit more, knowing that this is a huge opportunity for him.
When you're playing against Shaq, as Scott Pollard is right now, just get the rebounds that come your way. Let Turkoglu and Christie get the rest of the rebounds.
O'Neal fires one up. Chris Webber getting set to check back in. Christie putting the move on George. O'Neal came over to help. Nice ball movement again by the Kings. And it's Jackson not able to hit from 3-point range. Pollard on the rebound. Jackson gives it up. Christie for 3. Yes!
There is no hesitation. There is no let-up. There is no overjoyous celebration, although the bench is a little bit happy right now. The long way to go in this ballgame. Determined offensive production here.
They better go to Boston, the Lakers, and find out what they did in the fourth quarter. If you're talking about shutting down that celebration, because the Kings are having a good time. The Lakers are not anywhere into the area code, zip code defensively of what the Kings are doing. Look how wide open these shots are. Now, if you can't make shots in your head by 24 points, you need to come over here and sit with me and you.
Bobby Jackson on the foul, and Rick Fox to the line looking for the 3-point play. Yes, the Sacramento bench once again having a very enjoyable time here at Staples. This a Kings team that is 5-0 on the road in this year's postseason. They've won 17 of their last 19 games away from Arco Arena. And these are remarkable numbers. They won twice in Utah, twice in Dallas, Friday night here in LA. Now, they started the season over the first 32 games when they're 29-3 at home. They were only 13-14 on the road, and you can see how they picked it up since then with 17 of their last 19 in the W column.
Surging confidence. Credit Rick Adelman. He has got